Welcome to another episode of This is Culture. If you're a fan of the show and you enjoy what we're doing, please leave it down below in the comments. Also, don't forget to give us a share, a like, even hit that notification bell. And now in this week's show...
I like them more than the meat now.
That's what she said, right?
He's a single dad, has 3 children, and you know, he's really excited.
He's a veteran.
And he's a veteran. He's a 14-year Army veteran.
That's amazing.
And you know, every time you come to these forks in the road where you have to make these decisions, and that decision is gonna basically take you down one path or another path. If you make enough wrong decisions, you're gonna wind up in a really, really bad place.
Welcome everyone to episode number 9 of This is Culture. Today I'm joined with the one and only Harry Page. As you guys remember, last week we spoke about quality of life. This week we're going to talk about giving back. But before any of that, we're going to jump right into culture trends. Wow! So Harry, last week of summer, any big plans?
Yeah, I'm actually going to Barbados.
Barbados?
Yeah.
You're going to cook?
Yeah.
I remember how red you get.
Oh boy, here we go.
Under that sun. Want to tell that story real quick?
Go ahead, I think it's pretty funny.
So we take Harry to a lake when we were kids. I think I stole my brother's car to go to the lake with my friends. And Harry puts on baby oil.
Instead of
sunblock. And then he calls me later on that day. He's like, Lou, I think I have to go to the hospital.
I look like a red lobster. I'm Irish and Italian. More Irish on the skin than anything else.
Yeah, you don't tan very well.
Yeah.
But make sure you put on some SPF 100.
Yeah,
Awesome,
absolutely.
bro. Have fun.
Appreciate it.
You deserve it. You work really hard. So, I mean, it's last week of summer. Get it in before you actually have to buckle down for the winter.
Absolutely.
Now, moving right along, we also want to talk about last week being Suicide Prevention Week.
Right.
And there was recently a guy in Linden who was trying to commit suicide by jumping off the City Hall building.
I saw that. Everyone was going live on Facebook. And the thing that I thought was different was, you know, some people could be really cruel on Facebook, and a lot of people were coming together and saying, like, you know, let's pray for this guy. Who knows what he's going through? I don't really see. People are really nasty on Facebook.
Oh yeah, they are.
You know, on social media.
Of course, I think it's just people have an easier time knocking someone else down to make themselves feel better.
Sure.
Than trying to show love. But in the extreme cases that someone's trying to take their life, then people kind of humanity comes out.
Yeah, it was. Even though it was a tragic event, a lot of good things came out of it, and people pulled together in a community. They were praying outside.
Yeah.
It was different than what I normally see on social media with people.
Did the guy make it?
Yeah, thank God.
Somebody talked him off the ledge?
Yep, it all worked out.
That's good, thank God for that.
Yep.
Well, moving along, it's something a little bit lighter. I know something that you enjoy a little bit more is food.
Oh my God, I love food. It's my problem.
Popeyes recently had a crispy chicken sandwich that rolled out, and I heard the lines were out the door. They had to discontinue the sandwich.
Yeah, I saw that. I need to get some of that sauce in my businst.
Oh yeah, we need to throw a bun on our business, I guess, right?
Throw a bun on a house and call it a day.
From what I was told by my producer, the chicken sandwich had to be discontinued, and now they're telling people, like, just bring your own bun, BYOB, bring your own bun, and we'll make you the sandwich.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not even into those food chains, to be honest. I really like to go to my local community, especially Rahway. It's a lot of things up and coming. The mayor's doing great things down with the town, and there's a lot of people that you and I grew up with from Rahway that are really, you know, starting to blossom with their own places as entrepreneurs with the food.
People don't know it, but Rahway has French restaurants, Mexican restaurants, has anything you could really think of. Italian, of course.
Cuban.
Yeah, and it's really coming up. I mean, even it's safe to walk around. You know, so what are some of your favorite restaurants in Rahway? So
I definitely really like the Irving Inn for a little more upscale burger and steak.
Nice.
It's got a nice vibe in there. Also, you know, the waiting room is something that's been around a very long time. They do a prime rib on Friday that's to die for. They only have it on Fridays.
Well, today's Friday.
Yeah.
Let's go try that prime rib.
What the hell are we waiting for?
All right, let's do it, brother.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, Lou, so we're finally here, right?
Let's dig in, bro. I'm starving.
So when you come to this place, Cubanu's, a lot of people, you know, they come for the Cuban food, and They get the empanadas, they usually get the meat, but this one has spinach and cheese and it's absolutely amazing. Without further ado, I would like for you to try one. We'll try one together and tell me what you think.
So these are cheese and what?
Cheese and spinach.
Oh wow,
amazing.
Never had
well, you
that
gotta put
before.
the dip in first. It's a special sauce. They won't tell me what's in it.
Are
you ready?
I grew up with these, man. My mom used to make
Cheers.
them, but not like this. Nice. Try it out. That is really good. This ricotta cheese?
It's amazing, right?
This is really good.
You wouldn't think that it would be. I like it more than the meat now.
I don't. That's what she said, right? I don't like. You don't feel that guilty because it's got the spinach in it, so you feel like you can eat them. This is good, man.
Amazing.
So, this place has been around for almost probably a decade or so in Rahway. What's your specialty? Like, what are they known for?
Well, to be honest, this is one of my favorite treats. Jerry was nice enough to surprise us with some dishes I even haven't tasted yet, and I would like to show you those too.
Oh, let's do it, man.
All right.
What do we have here, bro?
All right, Lou, so Jerry surprised us. We have a surf and turf, which is called, I'm not gonna try to say it,
Entraña.
which I would call skirt steak and shrimp. Since this is gonna be easier, let's try their Cuban sandwich.
Yeah, this looks like the traditional
wanna
Cuban
grab
sandwich,
one,
but
I'll
this looks
grab
like artisanal. Here, take the. Wow.
Amazing, right?
I love it, bro. The flavor is
Simple
so good.
but delicious.
Yeah. Man, you gotta try this, guys. This is good.
Come here, amazing. All right, so now we have the skirt steak, right?
Oh, man, this looks good.
This is definitely what I was really excited about today, besides the little snack that I wanted to show you guys with the twist with the spinach and cheese. So let's dig in. Let's
so the real way of eating steak is not with steak sauce in this Cuban restaurant. You put the chimichurri sauce,
I'm
right?
glad you point that out.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's freshly made.
Good.
It's absolutely delicious.
All right, let's give this a try. Nice.
Take one of the shrimp.
Yeah, that's right. Shrimp.
Little dip.
What kind of sauce is that?
I'll be honest, I have no idea, but it's delicious.
Wow.
From the Cubanu.
Okay, so we're here at El Forno a Legna, which is Italian for wood-fired oven.
Yeah.
So, not brick oven, wood-fired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's wood.
Okay.
So what do we have in front of us, dude? One of your favorites?
So I brought you guys here today because obviously it's known for pizza, but it's also, if I want to have like a light dish, they make amazing salads here. So as you can see, there's a spinach salad with walnuts, cranberries, goat cheese, and grilled chicken. All right, let's dig in.
Let's do it. Yeah,
Lou, I gotta be honest, it's one of my favorite salads.
Yeah, it looks really good. Let's try this out. You got like a little honey mustard. So this is a really good healthy option for someone who doesn't want to eat a pizza, but they want to be in a nice atmosphere like this. This is a really nice restaurant. So tell me more about what you've had here.
So they also, I want it to be different. Obviously it's known for pizza, but I wanted to show you some healthy options.
Yeah.
So I have some pizzas that I want you to try as well.
All right. This is incredible. Looks like they took some pride in making this. What do we have here?
Yeah, we're not eating Domino's pizza.
No, it's not Domino's.
So right here, they did a pie. Look at the presentation.
Yeah.
It's marinara, pesto, and a vodka sauce. Then we have a pesto sauce, Tommy pie, pesto, red pepper, and breaded chicken.
Nice.
And lastly, we have a
Vodka pie.
yeah, this is fresh mozzarella, prosciutto, a little bit of peas, and mushrooms.
Yeah, I grew up in Rahway. I never thought I'd be having a pizza this good in Rahway.
Rahway is amazing now. You almost feel like you're in New York or something.
Wow, man.
Or Jersey City.
Really
Hoboken,
good.
right?
Harry and I were also able to check into one of his favorite places in Rahway, the Irving Inn. We had his favorite, which was the New York strip with roasted potatoes and roasted corn. What made this steak special for me is the way it was prepared. The outside was crispy, but the inside was so juicy that even if you didn't have teeth, you could still eat this steak. Then the owner was kind enough to give us some of his fan favorites, which included French fries that were garnished with crab meat and scallions. He also threw in the ricotta meatballs, which were so good that you would never expect to have this outside of an Italian restaurant. They would actually give everybody a run for their money. And of course, they had a wide variety of craft beers to wash it all down. Wow, bro. I could really see why you spend so much time eating in those restaurants. They were amazing,
I need a couch right now, bro, not a chair.
I need a hammock. That's the Spanish stuff.
I'll take one of those too. Anything to lay down right now.
Bro, that was amazing, bro. I don't know how much time you spent scouting those out, but it's definitely a place that I'll go back.
Yeah, I always go down to Rahway and I support, you know, the local people, entrepreneurs down there, and you can see why. The food is amazing.
Of course.
It's fresh, simple, done right. What more can you ask for?
And I mean, that's a great way also of giving back, because
Yeah.
you can always go to a chain, but, you know, these mom and pops that really need the business,
Yeah.
you're supporting them. You know, and speaking of that, I'd like to bring us into our next segment, which is Check This. Well, Harry, in this segment of Check This, we actually had the opportunity to visit Habitat for Humanity. They had a build-out in Perth Amboy. Are you familiar with the cause?
To be honest, I heard of it, but I really don't know much about it at all. Do you mind sharing with me?
Actually, for real estate agents, it's actually a really good thing for you to learn about, because what they do is they actually come together as an organization and they build homes for people who need it the most. So for this one in particular, they're building it for a vet who is a single father and has, I think, 2 or 3 children. So they're building a really nice house for him, bro. A really beautiful place. And people just volunteer their time and go there, and they all pitch in a little bit.
So is that like the Culture Care Day we did in Berkeley Heights?
Absolutely. Remember that for your clients?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I actually got the motivation to do that from Habitat for Humanity, because I was always trying to kind of like have my hands in a project, but it's really hard to actually find a project that's nearby. So what I did was I said, you know, we have an organization, let's just find someone, and luckily you had a client that needed it.
So yeah, that elderly couple really needed our help, and we're really grateful, because I know one of them, well actually both of them I think had some medical issues going on. And I remember actually the neighbor came outside next door that was a realtor, and she's like, what are you guys doing? And then I shared with her what we were doing. She was really, really surprised.
Yeah, most real estate agents won't take the time to do that.
Yeah, our whole crew came. Like I remember you even had your kids there, and I was showing them how to power wash the sidewalk. We planted. That was a lot of work that day.
It was a lot of work, but you know what? I felt fulfilled afterwards. It was a great feeling.
Yeah, I felt fulfilled, and I needed Advil too.
Yeah, but it's definitely, it's on a smaller scale, but that's what Habitat for Humanity does.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, that event was great. So now let's check out the Habitat for Humanity.
Let's do it.
Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm honored to be with Camellia Williams. She is with Habitat for Humanity. Camellia, tell us more about yourself, please.
Yeah, so I'm the president and CEO of the Greater Plainfield Middlesex County affiliate, so meaning that we build in the Greater Plainfield area, which includes the suburbs that surround those towns, and then pretty much almost all of Middlesex County.
Yeah, like today we're in
Perth Amboy, yes, and this is our Home for a Hero project, which is going to a veteran family.
How did the family that's lucky enough to receive this home, how did they become eligible to receive such a nice?
So they had to do an application, which includes almost similar to what you would put together for a mortgage. You have to send in all of your financial information to make sure that you qualify for income, because you do have to, it is an income-based program, so you do have to meet the income qualifications, as well as there's a credit check and all of that, very similar to what a bank does. And then there was a lottery, and so the person who received the #1 slot, his name is Sam Gonzalez. He's a single dad, has 3 children. And you know, he's really excited.
He's a veteran.
And he's a veteran. He's a 14-year Army veteran.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So how do you guys actually get the homes built? How is it that you go from scratch to a finished product?
Right, so it is very much a community effort. So we always have corporate sponsors that will come out, and they do what's called an Adopt-A Day, which means that they make a corporate contribution, a financial contribution, and then with that, they send their team out, their team members out to do a volunteer day. Except for like the trades, electrical, the roofing, you know, plumbing. Those are all done by professionals, but everything else is done by, you know, volunteers and our core crew.
And how can an individual make a difference or an impact? Is there a website they go to donate? Are there materials they can donate?
Right, so for most of our projects, you know, we need more than kind of leftovers, but definitely, you know, we do take, sometimes people will have 2 or 3 cases of tile, and that is enough to do a bathroom floor or something like that. So people can always go on our website, give us a call, we'll make arrangements to pick up supplies, as well as individuals can become donors. And so we have a Hope Builder program, which is just starts at $10 a month. They can give on a monthly basis, or they can give to our annual, you know, they can give to us annually. And then labor, we always need individual volunteers.
So how can everyone find out about the Habitat for Humanity cause? Is there a website they can visit?
Yes, so our website is www.habitat and then the letters GPH PMC for Greater Plainfield Middlesex County.org.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us. Yeah.
And hopefully this video reaches a lot of people who are going to turn out to be great volunteers and contributors. That last segment reminded me of a really funny joke. Hey, Mike.
Yeah?
How do construction workers party?
I don't know how.
They raise the roof. Get it? Raise the roof?
Terrible.
Okay, well, moving along. We recently interviewed Mayor of Rahway, Ray Giacobbe, and let's hear what he had to say. Welcome everyone, and today I'm so excited to have someone in studio with me that I've been a friend with a long time. He's been like a brother to me, and today I couldn't be prouder. He's not only an accomplished person, but he's also a devoted father, husband, and he's just an all-around great person. I've seen this person mature from childhood all the way up to being the Mayor of Rahway, Ray Giacobbe.
Thank
so
you,
Ray,
Will.
for the people who don't know who you are, just give us a little background on yourself. Let's start when Ray was a youngster.
So I was born and raised in the city of Rahway. Grew up with you right there on West Grand. And you know, I love the city that we grew up in, Lou, because of the diversity. And I think that it shaped us to be the men we are today. Rahway High School graduate, and if I told you that when I was a youngster in high school that I thought I was going to be mayor, I'd be lying to you right now. I really didn't know what I wanted to do.
We wouldn't believe you anyway.
Yeah, we definitely wouldn't believe me. But you know, just life kind of brought me in that direction, and when the opportunity was there to become mayor, you know, I felt that I was ready to take on that challenge, and I couldn't be prouder to be here standing before you as mayor of the city of Rahway. When it came, when I had my family and it came time to choose where I was going to raise my family, I wanted my kids to have the same opportunities that I had. And when I say opportunities, I mean growing up in a diverse community is what life is going to be about as you get older. And you know, I didn't grow up poor. I was very, very fortunate to have things and a mother and father who took very good care of me. But you know, being from Rahway, playing sports, going through the school system, there were kids and other people there that were less fortunate than I. So it gave me a perspective of not only, you know, being grateful for what I had, but also realizing that there's people out there that are struggling, some of them to no fault of their own.
What I really liked about growing up in Rahway was that the school system, even if it wasn't rated well, I remember the teachers and the athletic directors and the coaches, they all really cared. And I felt like, you know, a lot of those people molded me, especially one teacher I had as a kid, really molded me into the person that I became just because they cared. They were hard on us. They weren't easy. And I think that where maybe the disconnect was with the school district is because of the SAT scores, you know, and because of those. But it doesn't take anything away from the merit that the people, the teachers and the people of the town have.
Absolutely.
You know, can you say something about that growing up in that?
Yeah, I think mentorship is extremely important for our youth. And I feel it's our job as now the older generation, hate sitting here saying that, to give back to the community. And, you know, mine and your good friend Antonio Garay is someone who I use as an example, who was a guy who had played 10 years in the NFL, could have lived anywhere he wanted in the country, in the world. You know, he had the resources to do so, but he chose after his career was over to come back to Rahway, volunteer through sports, football, wrestling, but he does much more than that. You know, he sees these kids out in the street doing what they're not supposed to be doing. He'll snatch them up real quick, bring them home, and he really took on that mentorship role. Not because anybody told him that he had to, because he grew up with a father and uncles and people around him that mentored him. And I feel the same way with myself, that, you know, I had coaches, I had teachers. I say my mom mentored me how to be a good parent. My grandfather mentored me how to be a good businessman. And, you know, people like Tony Garay and, you know, Coach Punko and Coach Dolan and, you know, Mr. Candeloro, all these teachers and all these people that were in my life, you know, they really, you know, cared and kind of made sure that I stayed on that
tough love, discipline.
The straight and narrow. And sometimes you got to tell kids things that they don't want to hear, but at the end of the day, it's for their best.
Sure. Well, coming out of college, you turned your sights on being an entrepreneur. You had a few businesses that I can recall. Tell us about your first experience with business.
So my first business was a hand car wash on New Brunswick Ave in Rahway. My grandfather had owned the building, and a friend of his was an older gentleman who just wanted to get out of the business because he was ready to retire. and I purchased the business off of him, and I ran it for 5 years and sold it. It was car wash is a tough business, but when I was 22, 23 years old, and friends were going out partying Friday, Saturday night, and I had to open up that car wash at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. It gave me responsibility that some of my friends at that time didn't have, and it showed me that, listen, you have a business that comes first, and hanging out and partying with your friends comes second. And I was fortunate enough to be successful in that business, and I eventually sold it and I moved on to the family business, which is real estate and construction. And from there, I've done several developments with my grandfather and my father in and around Union and Middlesex County. And like I said, that experience though really taught me responsibility at a very, very early age in my life.
After Bella's, I remember that you went into the fitness world for a while.
Well, my dad always had a gym. My dad was always into health and fitness growing up. I was always into sports and fitness growing up. So when I was in high school, he opened up Pyramid Club. It was called.
That was the place to be.
So and I'd say around 2008 when the market crashed, he had sold it a few years previous to his general manager, but he maintained ownership of the building. Well, the guy, once the crash happened, kind of just packed up and walked out. We were sitting there with this big empty building, and so we reopened the gym because we just felt it was the right thing to do for the community. And me and my brother ran that for about 5 years as well.
Nothing happens by accident, like you said. Everything happens for a reason, and I think that spending that time not making much money, because you did it more kind of for the experience. I'm not sure owning a gym is, unless you're doing it at like multiple locations or have tons. And the problem is that the gym business is so messed up. You've got $10 a month gyms that you can't compete with. Like you can't do that.
So when me and my brother reopened in 2009, first 3 years we were doing great. We were making good money. The gym was thriving. But I compare it to, like, if you get bit by one piranha, you'll probably live. But if you get bit by 10 of them, you're probably going to bleed out. And throughout the years, just other gyms just within the vicinity started opening up. Your $20 a month, your $10 a month, and slowly but surely they just started extracting members. Because listen, there's only so much clientele out there that you can provide, you can target and you can provide for. So at the end of the day, it just got to the point where it just wasn't profitable, and then we decided to sell the property to Wawa. And now there's a Wawa sitting there, which I'm a lot happier for, because I go get coffee there every morning.
Well, it makes sense because obviously you put the time in, you made some money, you got all the experience in the world, and what do you do next? Like, what happened to Ray after those doors closed? Did you immediately go into politics? Were you in politics somewhat already involved?
I was already in politics, so I became a councilman in 2013. Our mayor at the time resigned, and our 6th ward councilman, the ward that I live in, became the interim mayor. At that point, his seat became vacant, and I was asked by himself and the Democratic Committee of Rahway to take that seat over. In 2014, I had to run for the remaining 2 years left on the seat, which I won, and then in 2016, I had to run for re-election, and I won a full 4 years at that point.
I guess they like you.
I guess I'm doing something right.
No, definitely.
But back to your question about, after the gym, to me, it was a tough time because you never like not succeeding. You know what I mean? I wouldn't necessarily call it a failure, because at the end of the day, we sold the property. It was something that I think needed to be done, but still, deep down, I kind of felt like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? How can I get better? And I felt that I grew from that because at the end of the day, you got to learn from your failures, and you got to learn from your mistakes. So it was a tough time for the ego set in a little bit, but at the end of the day, I learned from it and I moved on, and my family and myself are in a better place now.
Absolutely. God has a perfect plan for everybody. We just don't understand it at the moment. Like you said, all the things that happened in your life, they weren't failures, they were all learning lessons, which if you were to package them up and put them into a college class, you would have never retained any of that. But since you lived it and you went through it, it's priceless, man. You couldn't put any value on that. So everything happens, and you grow from it, and you move on to the next thing. So growing up together, obviously, as kids, we had a great time, and from those times that we were out there and just being kids, I think I've learned a lot of things too, because a lot of our friends, didn't go the same path that we took. A lot of our friends are still in that mindset. A lot of our friends, even had worse outcomes. Either some of them went in jail, some of them passed away. But I think that all kids go through phases. All people go
course.
through phases, like seasons in their life.
Of course.
Obviously, us going through being kids and doing a lot of things that could have gotten us in trouble, opened your eyes up to being a father, right? So how understanding are you when your daughter wants to stay out to midnight, or your son wants to go on a date, at an early age? Like, how did you react to that, knowing that you were a kid too once?
So my parenting style is very simple. I'm just open and honest with my kids. I just keep it real. And with my daughter, I was always very honest with her, and I said, this is when you go to these parties, these are some of the things that you're going to encounter. Don't feel obligated or peer pressure to do anything you don't want to do. You can call me at any time of the night. I don't care what's going on. I promise I won't yell or scream. I'll come pick you up. I'll get you safe, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah. And having that, my son's 13, so he's kind of getting into that age. But my daughter right now is at the age you're talking about that we were at when some of our friends and our close friends started making the wrong decisions in life, and it led them down a path of, like you said, jail or even worse. And I always tell her, you got to make the right decisions. And Lou, you're sitting where you are now, and I always knew you were going to be successful because you were always a very smart, level-headed, mature person. And every time you come to these forks in the road where you have to make these decisions, and that decision is going to basically take you down one path or another path. If you make enough wrong decisions, you're going to wind up in a really, really bad place. Yeah. You're not going to make all this. I told my daughter, you're not going to make every decision right, but you want to try to make sure that you stay on that right path, because sometimes you get too far down that road and there's no turning back.
So where do you see Rahway in the next? Well, let's start with this. Where do you want Rahway to be by the end of your administration this time around, until you're obviously be reelected again, I'm sure? And where do you see Rahway in the future?
So I want Rahway, and this sounds a little cliche, but I really want Rahway to be the best place that you can live, visit, or work. Yeah. And I think it's important that you have to attack all those aspects. But at the end of the day, our kids are our future, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be taking over, and they're going to be the ones that you talk about the long term. Yeah. So I think it's very important that we kind of cultivate these young kids, and we get them to understand that, it's okay if you're 16, 17 years old, if you don't know what you want to do, but let's develop these skills so when you do get out in the world. Some kids don't know how to write a resume. Some kids are scared to death of public speaking. Some kids don't understand when you go on a job interview, you better be dressed for the job that you want. Sure. So these life skills through the youth programs that we do I think are very important for the long-term future and the health of the city. And for the short term, I want to make Rahway the hip, happening place to be. Yeah. I want it to be so if you're with your family, or you're with your friends or whomever, and you want to do something, what do you feel like doing tonight? Let's go downtown Rahway. We'll figure it out. We can grab a show. We can go at the UC Pack. We can walk around. We can go to Meilao and have some Stone Cold ice cream. Or if you're with your buddy and you're a cigar smoker, you can go to our cigar lounge, Sticks. We have great restaurants like Cubanu, Irving Inn, Waiting Room, Luciano's. So there are tons of things to do, and I want to continue to build on them as well.
Where can our audience follow you? They want to know more about Ray Giacobbe, or how can they find out more about the city of Rahway?
Well, the city of Rahway is easy. It's cityofrahway.com is our website, and you can find everything on that website that involves the city. As far as me, I have a Facebook page under my own personal name, Raymond Giacobbe, and I also have my Twitter and my Instagram account, which is @RayGiacobbe.
Nice, good. Well, Ray, thank you so much for being in the studio with us today. Even though I know a lot about you, I just love hearing your story and your journey, because it is very inspiring, and I'm very proud of you. And if there's ever anything that Culture Estate could do for the city of Rahway, we're at your call.
I appreciate it, and I would just like to close with saying that I've known Lou for a very long time. He's one of the hardest working men I know. When he was a kid, 15 years old, he was cutting hair down in his basement, charging everybody $5. The haircuts weren't the best, but he kept working at it, and he became one of the best barbers in and around this area. And that could have been a career path that he could have chosen, and he would have been super successful at it. But I always knew that Lou had more in the tank. I always knew that you were destined for something greater than, and I'm not saying barber's a great profession.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not knocking that at all, but I just knew that wasn't where you were stopping.
It was part of the journey.
It was part of the journey. And Lou,
if I wouldn't have done that, I would have never met you.
And I'm just so proud, Lou, to call you my friend. I'm so proud of everything you're doing. And I think that when we talked about earlier, when we talked about making the right decisions and having friends that weren't making those right decisions. And we're proof of if you're not going to make all the right decisions, but if you make enough of them, you're going to wind up in a good place. And I think me and you are proof of that. And my friend,
1000%. Thank you, Ray.
Love sitting here chatting to you anytime.
Awesome, brother. Well, thank you guys for watching. It's been an awesome experience for myself. And stick around for our next interview next time, guys. See you later. Bye. Wow, another amazing show. If you guys enjoyed it, please don't forget to give us a comment, a like, a share, even hit that notification bell. Thanks again for watching. See you later.